Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Dumb Show. Today's going to be a tough one for me. If you guys know who I am, then you know that I am a very proud father. And being a proud father, you often think of, taking care of your kids and being the best possible parent you could ever possibly be for them. I've thought about this, and if I've ever thought about how I ever would want to go out, I'd want to go out like saving my daughter's life or doing something to propel her. And like I said, today's going to be a hard one, so I just want to get right into it. My guest is a very special guest today, somebody I've known for quite a while. She's a mother of her son, Araya. She's a widow to Siliana Gaspard, a creator of Sculpt by Siliana, that's helping empower women to be the best, most badass versions of themselves. The only two-time Miss Texas Bikini. She's a former Optimum Nutrition athlete, and she currently lifts heavier weights than the boys in the gym. And hell yeah, she looks good doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome Siliana Gaspard to The Dumb Show.
Thank you, Omar.
Siliana, I often hear of the saying, behind every great man stands a really great woman as well. I think that's a bunch of bullshit, actually. I hear that, and I'm just like, what a crock of shit, right? Mm-hmm. Behind every great man stands next to them, not behind them, a great woman, right?
That's correct.
In any arena, whether it's romance, whether it's life, whether it's business, everybody has their partner, correct. Right? Goddamn, Shad was an incredible human being of immense accomplishment, and you're right there, right?
Yeah.
His accomplishments are your accomplishments, and I just I met you probably like 10 years ago, probably.
No, it was longer than
that, right?
13, 14 years ago.
I met you first, right? So
yeah.
I used to be a photographer in Houston, and so I knew kind of like what other people were doing, especially other photographers. I think that's kind of how you fell on my radar, is that you were shooting with other photographers that I knew, and I had the gateway to the agency that we went to talk to, right? And by extension, from that, I think we did a photo shoot for like an ad or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't remember, but that's how I met Shad, is through you, right? And so I interviewed him.
Okay. I forgot about that. That's
yeah,
true.
we did an interview for 002 magazine.
I remember, yeah.
And we were at the gym, and he tore my ass up.
Of course, the gym.
So I got a chance to meet him a couple times. We had dinner once, I remember. We talked about some stuff. But let's give me your how it all came to be. Let's talk about Shad just for a little bit before we get into some dumb shit.
Of how I met Shad?
Yeah, all right. Tell us a little brief story, yeah.
I will tell you the story. So I was living in Florida. I was living in Sarasota, Florida, but I happened to be in Tampa because there's nothing to do in Sarasota. So my friend and I went to Tampa, and I was dating someone else at the time. He played football. I was young. I didn't know better until it was obvious that, he was just being your standard athlete.
He was doing some dumb shit.
And so that night it kind of clicked in my head, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to find the biggest, blackest dude in here for revenge. And along came Shad.
Wow. And he is a huge black man.
And he is a giant black man.
Yeah, he is.
So, so that's how it went about. Like, every other guy in there was like, let me buy you a drink. Come talk to me. Come sit over here. And I was just like, no. And he was the only one that was just kind of like doing his own thing, not really paying me too much attention.
Nice.
Exactly, which got me more.
Absolutely.
Because I was like, why isn't he paying attention to me? And so finally, actually, his friend tried to talk to me. And I was like, no, I'm not interested, And then my best friend, Tanya, was like, well, you should talk to Siliana, And so he was like, hey, you want to dance? And they just happened to play like Grease Lightning or one of the Grease songs. I forgot which one. He's like, come on, let's dance to Grease. So we're just over there like,
You and Shad, right?
Yeah, giant black guy just doing these like
I cannot picture him doing that.
Oh, he was so goofy.
Oh my God.
We would do that all the time. Like, no matter what club we'd go to, we'd just break down, like,
And so that was it, right?
Yeah, that was it.
You
So,
guys,
well, no, so we danced a bit, and then we were just talking, and, I was still kind of, like, upset that he played me off at first.
Yeah.
So I was texting someone else on my phone, and he's like, hey, let me put my number in your phone. And I was like, my phone is dead.
typical.
Typical.
Right.
So here comes Tanya, like, don't worry, put it in my phone.
Good wing woman right
Good
there.
wing woman.
Gotta love that.
So, so she sent me his number later, and then I, like, mass text him in, like, a giant group message for something later on. It was like we were all going out or something, and he responded, like, hey, how are you? And we just started talking. And, like, maybe 2-3 weeks later, I flew to Houston to see him, and from there, that's our story.
So he's from Houston, or was he living here, or what was the
He
deal?
was living here because
Okay.
a lot of the wrestlers moved here because, they fly so much, and it's like a direct hub.
a central hub,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's a central hub. So if they were going east, west, wherever, it was like more direct flights. Plus real estate here was, super affordable.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. But yeah, so he's originally from Brooklyn, like
Yeah,
Brooklyn. Yeah. So.
Okay. So then, things progress. You guys get together.
I moved like within months. So we met in January, and I was here in Houston by the end of April.
And he was already in WWE at the time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about what that's like dating in the early ages, earlier time of the relationship.
Yeah.
A WWE wrestler. What that the life on the road is like, and how does that affect you?
I mean, it was fine. Like, I never had any reason not to trust Shad, you
Yeah.
know, especially coming off of, like, a relationship with a football player that was, like, a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah.
He just was a really good guy. So, like, he never did anything. You'd always, like, as far as that aspect, it was fine. But because they traveled so much, like, it was lonely, and I had just moved to Houston.
Yeah.
I was in this big house by myself. I didn't know anyone. The only other people I knew were, like, the other wrestling wives and girlfriends, and they were just crazy. So I didn't really want to associate with them because they, they'd like to drink and
Yeah, no, I
get
get it.
wild and
I
stuff.
know some of them, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, So I was a little bit lonely at first, but,
Did people really know that you and Shad were together? Like, was this like you were blasting it on social media and you told people about it, or was it kind of like on the DL? Like, how?
It wasn't on the DL,
Okay,
but
so people-
social wasn't as big as,
Yeah.
because this is like 13 years
Yeah.
ago now. So even more, 14 years ago. It's 2009.
I guess the reason I'm asking is like because so people knew that you guys were together. There was
Yeah.
no question, right? I
There's
mean,
no
you
question.
moved from another state to be
Right.
here, and even when y'all were together, were there advances from guys that knew that you were in a relationship that knew Shad?
Oh,
Would people like try to hook up with you and try to get with you, even though they knew you were in a relationship, and then use the opportunity of Shad being out of town as a window? Did that ever happen?
sure. But not often. It happened like, I think the guys that did that were like super ballsy because, again, Shad was a giant black guy that
beast.
knew how to fight, and he
Literally
was
the
going to
beast.
fuck you up.
Yeah.
So it far and few in between. But yeah, like when we were, together and people knew that we were together, for the most part, guys, some of them would like toy with the idea,
Yeah.
but I don't think that they would ever have the balls to actually commit to it because that was
Yeah, it would have been consequences. Would have been
consequences.
pretty dire.
Severe.
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 You're not going to live anymore.
Correct.
Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit in time here, and like, I mean, as we alluded to, Shad's no longer with us, right? And so, very unfortunate. If you don't know, Chet, do you want to share the story of how it happened?
Sure. So we just decided to go to the beach after, during COVID, and they had reopened up the beaches. We were living in LA at the time. And it was like the first weekend that they had reopened up the beaches. So we went on Sunday, and, there was a lot of people at the beach. And it was unbeknownst to us, but apparently there was actually like close to 500 rescues
Wow.
that weekend before we even got there. It was like in the upper 400s.
Is that normal?
No, it's not normal. And they were like way understaffed. I think it was something like 13 out of like 20 lifeguard houses had lifeguards. So they were like completely understaffed, like, and they just did what they always do. They went into the water to go swimming. My son would jump off of, Shad's shoulders and stuff. And so he got a few like jumps in, and then they just started like drifting, and I'm sitting there watching him. Like, at first I'm upset because I'm like, why is he taking him so far?
Yeah. Your mother instincts come out.
I'm
Yeah.
like, what is he doing? And then I like realized something's wrong, so take off running. And then, lifeguard brings back our son. I'm like, okay, Shad's coming back any second now, and just never came back. So.
He saved your son's life.
So I know that people say that, and I just want to make sure that people recognize how it comes off to my son, right? Because I don't want my son to feel like
he's responsible
because he's not.
Absolutely not.
And so it's not my son's fault. And
No.
whether it was you or me in the water or anyone else or anyone else's kid, Shad would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Because that's who Shad was as a human being. And we're talking about dumb shit men do. And Shad was a man like through and through. Shad was a man.
Yeah.
And men do things, at least in my opinion, men do things that they might not want to do, right? But you have to do it because you're a man. And Shad just did exactly what he would do in that moment. So,
True man.
A true man.
Since then, how has the attention regarding men happened? Like, how has that unfolded? Have you seen an increase in interest from people you knew prior to, your life with Shad? If they knew that you were together, have men come out of the shadows, so to say, to approach you about potentially being together or hanging out or whatever?
Yeah, the hangout.
And even new people like that know that you're no longer involved with somebody. Like, how has that changed?
Yeah, so like a month and a half after he passed, my DMs were like, at first, of course, they were like, sincere,
sorry, yeah.
I'm sorry. And then after it got a little bit like, hey, like the tone was still like, I'm checking in on you, but I'm checking in on you.
Yeah, I got it, yeah.
So, and that was from like a good amount of his friends.
Wow.
Or people who said that they knew him or were acquaintances or had hung out with him or this and that, How
does that make you feel?
Now it doesn't make me feel any kind of way. Back then, I was like, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, whatever. Somebody even sent me, like, one of his friends even, like, sent me, like, a dick pic after I was like, yeah, no, don't send that. And I specifically said, don't send that.
Oh, my God.
Here it comes. And I was like, well, that's a block.
Yeah.
And it's like a person who you would know.
Wow.
It's a popular, famous person where I'm just like, really, send me this dick pic.
God damn you, Donald Trump. So, okay. You said it, dick pics.
Dick pics, here we go.
Let's talk about that. I would presume, I'm grasping at nothing here, but I would just presume, you were a very beautiful woman, right? So I would presume this is something that's occurred many times in your life where you've gotten stuff like that.
Right. Not recent. The only one that I've received that I can like remember
was that one.
Okay. So I give them that much.
Yeah. I'm guilty of it a long, long time ago.
Right.
Clearly, I've done my fair share of dumb shit.
You're a man.
As a woman, a beautiful woman, right?
Thank you.
Talk to the guys right now. Tell them how fucking dumb that is, and
It's
how
so
how it really doesn't work.
It doesn't work, and the thing is it doesn't just stay with me.
Yeah.
Like, all of my friends are going to see it. We're
absolutely.
all analyzing it. Be like, look at what this asshole sent me. Like,
Have you met a woman before in your life? They all talk to each other, right?
We talk to each other.
They're a bunch of hyenas.
But yeah, if you send me a dick pic, like it's going to multiple people. We are all analyzing it. We're all going to be like, ugh, look at this, look at that, look at this.
Yeah.
It's
And
not
guys,
attractive.
she could have ruined this guy, right?
Yeah.
You have a big reach, right? Mm-hmm. And you have people in your life that have big reach as well. Like, if you wanted to ruin this guy's image, you could have done so.
Right. But I mean, that's just
So guys,
petty.
please do not. Just don't. It's not going to work. If your girl asks you for it, that's a different thing, but
Right.
never
If
send
you're
unsolicited.
Unsolicited. If
Yeah.
you're in a relationship with someone and you're sending dick
And I
pics,
still don't get
that's
it.
different.
Yeah.
You know, okay. But if you're like just, I don't know, trying to entice somebody,
Yeah.
it's not going to work.
That ain't the way.
It's not the way.
So yeah. Okay. What else? I mean, because like I'm sure you've seen the full gamut. Like I'm sure you've seen a lot of things. Like I'm gonna give you the floor. Like let's talk about some dumb shit that men have done. Like anything.
Oh, you got to like give me something to work with because there's so much.
Okay, what's your biggest pet peeve with guys hitting you up? Like what annoys you the most?
What annoys me the most? That's a good question. You know what I feel like these days, and I talk to my friends about it too, is I feel like men just are not men anymore, right? Like I feel like they want to be chased and they expect women to, you know, chase them and do things that men are quote unquote like supposed to do.
Yeah.
Right? Like I have a traditional mindset in the fact that I think that women have certain values and things and, you know, kind of like a place, right? And so do men. And I just feel like men are acting a little bit more feminine than masculine. And then in turn, women are acting more masculine and less feminine.
What do you feel about that? Because like I talked about that in the first episode when it was just me by myself, and how there's been a huge shift from, you know, women being subdued and being the wife and staying at home and being the mother and all those things over the decades to like now, you know, they're CEOs. They're powerful women that are leading the charge and have this I don't fuck with guys mentality. I don't need a man. And that's cool. Like I'm all about that if that's what you want in your life, but like the mentality is completely shifted.
Right.
And it's like the women are wearing the pants now, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. And you know, you just said it. And so like you're a woman in this world and you are a very powerful woman doing things and causing effect and shift in people's lives. How do you see that? Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Or what are your opinions on that shift?
I mean, I see pros and cons in it, right? Like I do think that it's good for women to, you know, be able to be powerful, have careers, do all these things,
Absolutely.
right? I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, if we're raising children, like, how do we raise children and have a career and do all that, you know? And it's just kind of like I don't know, it's hard to balance it all. So I feel like women kind of have to choose, like, what am I going to be? Am I going to be a mom and take that step back, which you have to take that step back, at least in my opinion. Like, I never wanted my son to just get dropped off at daycare so that then I could go to work. And, you know, I wanted to be home with my son. So for that to happen, I needed someone to, you know, take care of finances. But at the same time, if you do that and you allow a man to take care of you, then you're giving away all of your power. And if that man decides like, hey, I'm done with you, what do you have?
Yeah, you're basically left with nothing.
You have nothing unless you're stacking away quietly, which a lot of women don't do and you should do.
I know some women that are doing that.
You what?
I do know some women that are doing that.
You should always have your own.
Yeah.
And you should never tell how much you have.
And let me just brag on Siliana right here real quick because like she has a full schedule.
Yes.
I mean, like she literally dropped a ride off, came here, and then like I know she's gonna be in the benches all night, practice, right? And he's homeschooled, right?
He was homeschooled up until January.
Okay.
I had to put him back in school because in order for him to go to private, you know, they want like teacher recommendations and all that for high school. So I had no choice. But yeah, we were homeschooling. I mean, my whole schedule was like tutors, football, this, that, blah, 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 like all day long.
Yeah, full plate.
Full plate. And then, but this weekend, yeah, he's got football tournament in the morning, then basketball tournament in the afternoon, then Sunday it'll be basketball again.
Yeah, no, just look at her stories, guys. it is full. It is jam-packed. And then she's showing off her physique, of course, making us all look stupid. Okay, so what were we just talking about?
We were talking about like gender roles, kind of.
Yeah, gender roles.
Like,
and so like I was talking about what you know, annoys you. And so guys aren't guys anymore. What would Siliana look for in a guy?
What would I look for in a man?
Yeah. Besides him being a large black man.
They doesn't, black was just.
No, I'm messing with you.
We all had a type at one point. So what would I look for? Honestly, I just saw my friend post this book. It was called like the 5 something of being a man, the 5 markers of being a man. Mm-hmm. I literally just ordered it this morning because I want to read it.
Oh, wow.
And one of them is being a protector. So yes, to be a protector, a provider, to know how to be a lion and a lamb, right? You have to know how to be tough and soft. Loving, caring, supportive, like be there, but don't be overbearing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, just a good person. Plus, like, there's so many people these days. I feel like everyone has an agenda. Like, people are just not good-hearted. And I don't know why. Just be a good person.
So what I see, and this is just from the outside looking in, right? Because I'm not a woman, never been a woman, never walked an inch in those heels, right? So
right. Those heels, exactly.
Oh man, I can't
Louboutins.
do it. Bow down to y'all because I can't. Never will. But it seems to me, and I've dated plenty, right?
Excuse me.
I'm just saying. So I just have this feeling, and maybe you can agree or disagree, but like to me, it seems that almost every woman out there, and if they're actively dating, right, has at least, at minimum, on any given day, 10 dudes.
10 dudes?
In the DMs.
Oh, in the DMs.
Hitting them up,
okay.
right? And so, like, let's just say one of those girls decides to go on a date with me, or any guy for that matter. It doesn't have to be me. Mm-hmm. They're on a date. In the back of their mind, they know that the moment this isn't perfect anymore, the moment that this isn't working for me or I'm dissatisfied, like, I don't need to make it work because I know that I got 10 guys in the pocket.
Yeah, but same thing for men, right?
Maybe, right?
Of course you do. The girls might not be in your DMs.
They're not in my DMs,
but
that's for
no,
sure.
You don't think so? I think that men and women both have like so many options. I run my son's social media, okay? Because I don't think that 12-year-olds should be on Instagram like that.
Good call.
This little girl is always in Araya's DM. Oh, you look so cute. Oh, this, oh, that. I'm like, how old are you? She's like 13 or 14. I'm like, at that age, you're already blowing up. And I don't respond.
That's just the way it is now. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, it's weird. But like, and that goes back to the point of like women chasing men. Like, you're a 13, 14-year-old girl.
Why are you even doing that?
Chasing a little boy.
Yeah, like, I don't get that. Like, I mean, trust me, I've always liked girls. Like, I had crushes when I was in like an elementary school. Like the girl, whatever, right? Get her Valentine's, get her candies. But like, when I was a teenager growing up, like, I didn't think like I wanted to be with like a girl and like date and kids nowadays are doing that. It's wild. And I think social media has of course played a huge role because they have the world at their fingertips, right?
So I've never done any of like those dating apps or anything like that. I can't. Yeah. But apparently Bumble is a big one. Obviously we all know about Tinder and all that. But like you said, at any given moment, if somebody says something, you're on a date, they say something that you don't like, you can just, hey,
next.
Here I go on Bumble.
Yep.
So it's easy.
Oh, man. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to show you this quick picture real quick. I don't know if you remember this.
I remember this gym. This is Tatiana's gym, right?
I can't remember what gym it was. It was pretty far away.
In spring.
Yes, it was in spring.
Yeah, this is Tatiana's gym. So,
this is Shad kicking my ass in the gym. He clearly has some big weights there, and I'm like holding up like a balloon.
This is so funny. Send me this photo.
I'm gonna send it to you. But the reason I wanted to show it to you, one, because it's hilarious and I was like an idiot, but also because it's us working out at the gym, and you are in fitness, right?
Right.
And I go to the gym, I work out. I'm not working out like these dudes that are like professionals and bodybuilding contests or athletes. Okay. I work out to maintain myself.
You're doing the hip thrusters.
I do around Valentine's Day.
Which I don't know why guys do those at the gym. Yeah. Stop doing the hip thrusters.
I do mainly classes and a lot of cardio because I do OCRs. But like I go to the gym and I'm very observant. I'm always looking around, and that's just me in general. Like I could be at the mall looking around. I could be at the gym looking around, right?
Is this a good way of saying you have a wandering eye?
I have a wandering eye, right? I always have.
Okay.
But I notice certain habits in the gym, right? Especially if there's a beautiful girl working out. It just seems that, granted, they're going to garner attention, right? So let's go into that area of the gym. And
Okay.
when you're working out, are there things that men do that are dumb?
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
So, honestly,
Take notes, guys.
take notes. Yeah. No, I had like a real, I don't know what the word is for it, but I would just keep my eyes down, like when I was going to the gym, and try not to make eye contact with anyone. Cause I feel like as soon as you make eye contact, it's like, oh,
The door's open.
the door's open.
Yeah.
She looked at me and it's like, no, bro, I wasn't looking at you. I was looking past you. Like, I'm trying to look at the weights. I'm trying to see if you're done with that machine.
Looking right through you.
Like, I'm looking literally right through you. Yeah, so that was one thing. I was like, okay, don't make eye contact. You can't make eye contact. You can't smile. Like, you can't, otherwise it's like doors open.
That's terrible. Like,
Yeah,
you
it
feel
is
so
terrible.
restricted. I mean, you can't even go in there and do your thing and be yourself because
Right.
the height,
Right.
the freaking vultures will come out.
Here they come.
Wow.
And I made that mistake recently where I was like, you know what? It's 2023. Let me just be like more personable, right?
Yeah.
Let me be friendly because I'm a friendly person. You know me. I'm
Yeah,
friendly. I'm
sure.
a nice person.
Sure. She's very friendly.
Stop rolling your eyes. To my friends. So I was like, let me just be nice, especially because if I'm in there every day and I see these people every day, let me just be nice.
Yeah.
No, it was like, when are we hanging out? When are we doing this? When I'm like, dude, I just was just, I'm in here, I see you, so I was just saying hi. Like,
Yeah.
It's not like that. I'm not interested. So, so what do they do? What they'll do is they'll try, like, I like deadlifting. And as you can see, Shad used to lift a lot of heavy weight.
Yeah.
So when he was training me, that meant I had to lift a lot of heavy weight. So my heaviest deadlift that we got to was 315 pounds when I was like 115. It's pretty good.
That's huge.
Yeah. So now these days I can get like 285 pretty solid.
I think I can do like 25.
You mean plates on either side?
1,025. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, so I'll put like, weight on it and like deadlift, and they'll come next to me and they'll literally start doing the hip thrusters.
Oh my
And I was
God.
like, dude, I'm literally lifting more than you weigh while you're doing ass workouts right next to me. Like, it's not impressive. And I know that they're doing it like
To try to impress you.
Yeah, like they'll look at me and like, try and smile or come by. And I'm just like, oh.
What about the guys, and does this happen to you, that try to correct your form or try to show you how to do it if they feel like you're not doing it correctly? Do you ever have that happen to you? I was that guy like 2 weeks ago.
Were you?
Inadvertently. Like, I didn't think that I was, and I apologized to this girl right after I did
Yeah.
it. We were in a class and we were doing kettlebell swings, right? And she had
There's
her,
different ways of doing those.
well, she had her arms bent, right?
Oh,
And she
okay.
was like just coming up to like not even shoulder level.
So you were calling her out for being lazy.
So I was like next to her. So I was like, you have to straighten your arms out. And like, and I said it very politely, like,
Right.
You straighten your arms out in shoulder length.
I'm sure she didn't like it.
And after class, she's like, I fucked up my shoulder. I was like, I felt so, and I even went up to her. I was like, this is when she told me,
Yeah.
I apologized first. And then she told me, I was like, hey, look, I want to say I'm sorry. After the class, I said, it was really douchey of me. I didn't really think that it came off that way, but I thought about it the entire class after that. After I
Right.
said it, I was like, wow, I'm an idiot.
It bothered you that
It
much?
bothered
Yeah.
me, right? So I went and apologized to her, and she's like, no, it's cool. It's like, I just fucked up my shoulder, so I
Right.
couldn't do that. And I was like, ugh. But
Yeah.
honestly, that's like the first time that's
That you
ever
did
happened
that.
with me.
Right.
But I suspect that, I don't
Well,
know.
they're not going to correct. My form is great.
'Cause you're in-
I've been
yeah.
doing this for so long. Like, if they say something to me, I have something to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
However cocky or arrogant that might sound, but like online sometimes, like, if I had posted a deadlift video one time, and Shad was the one that taught me how to deadlift, and he always told me to look up because you want to look in the direction that your body is going, especially when you're pulling, right?
Yeah.
So I was looking up, and then here come all the comments from the peanut gallery. Oh my God, your neck, blah blah blah, you're gonna hurt this. I'm like, listen, I've been doing this for 13 years and I've never hurt myself. Well, you should consider yourself lucky. I'm like,
Sit down.
sit down. Exactly. Take a seat.
Have several seats.
Right.
Sitcho.
You just got your NASM certificate like last week, and now you're over here correcting form. Come on. So,
These kids. Let's switch it up. Girlfriends that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Have they tried setting you up? Have you felt like, hey,
no.
no, nothing like that?
My friends are so great. Like, I have so many good friends from, like, well, like you, like from a long time ago,
Yeah.
and then new friends, you know, and everyone's just like, no, like, we're just good, you
Yeah.
know? Like, and I don't think that they would want to put me through something. Plus, they go through there's so much of their own
Yeah.
shit that they're like, why bother putting her through anything?
Well, without saying any names, what's some of the dumb shit your friends have gone through that you look at the guy's behavior and you're like, holy shit. Like,
My friend literally just told me last night about a football player. She was
oh my God. Not all football players are terrible. We're not saying that.
we're not saying that.
Yeah.
We're just, anyways. They were dating. He was running, you know, playing his games.
Yeah.
Left, got his ex-girlfriend pregnant.
Oh.
Tried to get back with my friend. Wanted her to accept the new baby, and
Really?
yeah,
A lot of nerve.
a lot of nerve. So that's something. Another friend just went on vacation
Yeah.
to go see her friend, and the guy she was talking to was like, hey, I have friends there too, I'm gonna come and we'll spend some time together.
Yeah.
She's like, it was beautiful. He's telling me that he wants to be together, he wants me to, you know, go meet his family and this and that. And mind you, she's attractive, she's a beautiful black woman, and this was a little white guy. Okay, all right. So you know, he's telling her all this stuff. Come to find out, he's on Bumble while they're on vacation after he tells her all that stuff.
No. I
Come
mean,
on.
it just, it's dumb, right?
It's dumb.
I don't understand. First of all, okay, there's just so much access to people nowadays that, I mean, I get some people need a little bit of help on dating apps, but
Right.
like, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have
Right.
TikTok even, where you can communicate with people that you don't even know, right? It's like, hey, I appreciate what you're doing, or that's funny, whatever. That's your gateway. Like, I don't really understand the need to be on a dating app. That's just me, right?
I can see the benefit of it if you use it correctly, you know, like,
I mean, it's just a pool of dating, right? And
Yeah.
so, I don't know. It just, to me, creates this sense of like, next,
Correct.
next,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
And so, like, there's no longevity with anything because you know there's a suitor
right.
literally a swipe away, right?
It's instant gratification.
Instant
and
gratification.
Constant instant gratification.
Nobody wants to work anymore towards anything, right? I mean, I just posted just the other day on Facebook, and it blew up. Like, I wouldn't say blew up. Like, when I say blow up, I got like more than 10 comments on it or something. But it was basically along the lines of, let me see if I can pull it up real quick and read it, because all these women were chiming in and saying the same thing over and over again. Let's see what it says. Okay, here it goes. I just want to find someone that will go to a gala with me and be posh in front of dignitaries, but also someone that will go to Bun B and act hood. She doesn't exist. And
Jesus.
here, sure enough, here comes all these women. 71 comments. All these women started coming out here.
71 comments.
We're all like, I'm here, or I'm married, or I made my guy wait 10 years in the friend zone before he became my husband. And
Oh, wow.
so, like, I'm getting all these different things, right? Do women, like, know that they have this power over men
No.
and can be like, I'm going to, like, I know this guy likes me. I'm going to keep him right here for a minute while I got to do my thing. And when I'm done doing this thing, I know he's over here. And he's like, he might be the right guy, so I'm going to give him a shot. Because I have felt that I've been that guy sometimes.
This guy over here.
Yeah, the guy over here that's like waiting and like, I mean, I'm a good dad.
But did you know that she was doing her own thing over there?
Oh, come on.
Okay.
It's not, I mean, I don't have to be a detective to know these things. But no, yeah, I just feel like nice guys finish last sometimes.
That's true.
And here's this nice guy. I'm not saying I'm a nice guy, by the way. But
I was
like,
going to say, Omar, come on.
I mean, seriously, the dumb show's about me, right? So no, but like, would you or have you ever done that? Where like you kind of knew that you had this power over a guy and like, I'm going to do my thing and like, doesn't really matter because I know he's going to be there?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about it. If you want to.
With Shad, when Shad and I were going, I don't know if we were separated for a little while.
Yeah.
But I think for us anyways, it was just deeper, right? There was like a deeper connection. Plus we already had our son, and the passion was kind of, I was talking to my other friend about it, was like a ride or die. Like, you know, no matter how much like we were going at it, if I called him at 2, 3 a.m., like, hey, I have a body. Okay, I'm coming. You know what I mean? That type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't know why I used that example. But there's just to show, like, you know, the gravity of, like, a ride or die.
Yeah.
So, so, like, I knew he was always going to be there. So
It's not going to go away.
He's not going to, right.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, and it was petty, and we were young, you know what I mean? And I was right there, too. Like, he was doing his own thing, and he knew I would be there, too. So, but, yeah, I don't know. It's stupid, honestly. I think, like, the older you get, the more you realize that kind of stuff is just, it's so immature and pointless, and nobody wins.
Nobody wins.
Nobody wins, and people get hurt in the process, and, like, it's pointless. Like, if you like someone, if you have feelings for someone, just let it be known and stop playing the games.
Thank you.
You know, like, the
Thank
games
you.
are just so pointless. It's just, and it's a waste of time. Like, do you not have things to do during the day that you just have to run game on people? Like, I don't.
I guess some people get a kick out. I don't know.
I think they must.
I don't get it.
And I don't know if it's also because there's, like, so much narcissistic behavior in society these days, right? That it's just like you said, it fulfills something in them.
Maybe.
But I'm
too blunt. Like,
me too.
you're going to know how I feel.
You're exactly. And the thing, like, I'm not perfect. Listen, I used to run game, and I know how and I was running good game. Trust me, I was running amazing game.
I need the playbook. I'm just kidding.
Well, it's easier for women, right? And that's the thing too. Like, for women, if you just, like you said, right, there's that guy you just keep there. But the more you don't give it away, the more men want it.
True.
Right? And you just keep playing that game.
That works both ways. Trust me.
It does work both ways.
I've been guilty of depriving,
Mm-hmm.
you know, somebody I'm in a relationship with, of certain things that I knew I had the power to give.
On purpose?
In hindsight, I would say sometimes yes, and I don't know why I would do that. It's really fucked up. But, like, you know, I look at it now and I'm like, that was stupid, right?
Right.
I shouldn't have done that.
Right.
Probably would have preserved a relationship, probably still be in a relationship. You know, you never know, right?
But it's good you have the awareness
until
now.
you go through it, and, you know, just like you said, nobody wins when you do that.
Mm-hmm.
It does. There's no. It's fulfilling in that moment.
Mm-hmm. And that's it.
And I've said this analogy over and over again. Like, you don't know how wrong you are in the moment.
Correct.
You're going through it. Like, you're literally in the cornfield.
Right.
And the cornfield, the corn is higher than your eye level, so you can't see where you're going. You don't know the mistakes you're making. And once you get out of the cornfield and maybe look at it from a different perspective, and you see, like, oh man,
Yeah.
I was right there the whole time. I could have gotten out easily, or I did all these wrong turns. But you don't know that when you're in the middle of it, right?
Correct.
So, do you feel like being a single parent now? How does that play into, you know, other men seeing you?
What about them?
Right?
My
like,
son comes first.
yeah, no.
Okay.
That's not in question.
Okay.
I know that. But, like, how does the approach from men, like, hey, you ever consider, you know, like, a coach for your son, or, like, using your son as a pivot point to try to access you? Has that ever happened?
Do they try to use him for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
At the gym. There was somebody at the gym that was, like, trying to be, you know, and I knew he was doing, and that was the thing too. I was like, you're not brand new. Like, I see exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, he was, like, befriending my son and trying to, like,
Wow.
work out with him.
Seriously.
And this and that, you know, to try to get to me. But Araya and I have a really good relationship, and I'm just honest. I'm like, look, the only reason why he's talking to you, and that he's not the only one, actually. Another one just crossed my mind now thinking about it. 3 of them from that same gym. Because I would bring my son to the gym with me.
You should go to a different gym, maybe.
You know what? I realized that the other day. I'm going to start bouncing around.
There you go.
So they never know where I'm at. But
Don't go to Alpha Land. I'm just kidding.
one of them was trying to get me to go there. But yeah, so they would, like, try to talk to
Just
him.
kidding, Alpha Land, if you guys want to sponsor.
Sorry, Alpha Land.
We love you, Alpha Land.
Yeah, so they would like try to talk to him. So then I tell her, right, I'm like, look, the only reason why they're being so friendly with you is because they're trying to talk to me.
Yeah.
And he was like, why would they do that? I'm like, because I'm, there's just they're trying to get
They're trying to holler.
they're trying to get to me
Yeah.
by being friendly to you because they know if they have a good relationship with you that I would be more open to pursuing something with them.
You would think, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But like, unfortunately for them, I see right through you, so
See
it's
right
not
through
going to
it.
happen. And then, honestly, it's more upsetting because it's like, how dare you try to use my son to get to me?
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible, right? Guys, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Like, it's a approach her first, and then
Yes.
by extension,
Right.
should she allow you
Right.
to have
Right.
access to her kid,
Right.
and I'm not just using but like anybody, right? Then you'll be blessed to know the kids, right?
Correct.
Or the kid. Never do that. That's
Never do that.
that's pretty. That's whale shit. That's bottom
Right.
bottom of the barrel.
It's bottom, yeah. And those three people that I'm thinking of, none of them were parents.
Wow.
So-
Well, that tells you everything right
Yeah.
there, right? I don't think a good parent or even any parent really would take that approach because, like, it's you know
can't go through.
you
the
can't
kids.
explain what it's like to be a parent until you become one, right?
Correct.
I've always been not envious. I guess envious is the word of women in terms of the connection they build with their kid because you guys build it right away.
Right.
I mean, you guys
Yeah,
are
of
literally
course.
creating the baby. So yeah, I've always like, we can be happy, that we're going to have a child, but we're still not creating. We're not holding it inside of us. And so it's like an external connection, whereas you guys are literally the connection.
Connected, yeah.
So I can't even imagine what that must make you feel like when guys do that and use your son as a pawn to try to gain for themselves.
I mean, you just got to stop it right away, And I let all of them know, like, hey, like, you can talk to my son and be friendly, but it's not because something's happening here. So if that's your motivation, like, you need to don't talk to him
Yeah.
because you know what I mean. He's gonna feel some kind of way.
I want to talk about you.
Okay.
Let's talk about Scope by Siliana. Talk about what that is and what you do and how people can,
Sure.
get involved.
So it's coaching. It's lifestyle coaching. It's more than just like training because I don't just train people. It's like a whole mindset, right? It's the whole thing about for fitness, right? For me, and especially like even, after losing Shad and stuff like that, part of it, like it's therapy to be in the gym and all that. So I just try and but actually help people just who are just, they need the help. Like they need the motivation to get up. They need to be, held accountable. Like they need proper nutrition. They need just everything. It's just a whole inclusive, like finding the best version of yourself, and helping you get there.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like everybody needs that, right? I get really motivated at times, and there'll be times where I'll spend 3 hours to 4 hours a day doing something physical fitness. I'm not saying like clanging weights for 4 hours or anything like that, but I'll go for a run for an hour, I'll take a class and then I'll lift some weights and like highly motivated. And then I get totally depleted sometimes and I don't want to do anything. And that's when I feel like I just need somebody in my corner to be like, let's go.
yeah, that's because motivation is fickle, right?
Yeah, it is.
Motivation is bullshit. It's not the motivation that keeps you going. It's the discipline. And discipline is doing something that you hate doing, but doing it like you love it. That's what Mike Tyson's quote.
I never
Right?
knew that.
Yeah.
I love it. That's a great one.
Yeah. And I don't always feel like working out, but
Yeah.
I'm disciplined, so I go. Right. And like when it was freezing cold back in December and stuff, I was out there running when it was
Yeah.
like 30 degrees.
I remember seeing your story. I was like,
with my hat and my gloves.
are you crazy?
Yeah.
But no, I get it.
But it's a sense of accomplishment. Like, yeah, I conquered that
Right
shit.
away.
I got up while the rest of you guys were sleeping.
Yeah.
My ass was freezing cold. I still did my 5 miles. And now it's 7 a.m. and I feel amazing while the rest of the world is
Still
waking up.
asleep.
Still asleep.
Still asleep.
Right.
I did that on September 11th. I woke up at 4 a.m. in New York. I was in New York. And not September 11th, like when it happened, but
Right.
September 11th, this last couple months ago.
Okay.
And I don't know what got in me. I was like so hyped. I was like 4 a.m., woke up, walked over to Central Park and ran around it. And I didn't know this,
Is
but
that safe to do at Central Park at 4 a.m.?
I saw some stuff, right? Okay. But like what I didn't realize is I did Runkeeper. It's a 10K. It's exactly 6 miles around Central Park, right? Crushed it. It was literally the fastest 10K I've ever run in my life. But it was just like amped up. And I'm like, dude, I'm in a city that doesn't sleep. And I literally saw this city wake up before my eyes.
Right.
Like at 4 a.m., there was nothing on the streets going on. By the time I was done an hour later, like you could see activity and people coming out and stuff. And I was like, yes. Even the marathoners, because they have a marathon that they do on September 11th.
Okay.
We're getting ready at 5 a.m. And I was like, I'm already done.
We were on the way.
It's a great sense.
Yeah. We were on the way. Sorry, not to cut you off, but we were on the way to the gym this morning at 5:30. My son works out at 6 a.m. You know, and that's exactly what I was telling my son.
Take notes, boys.
Take notes. Exactly. He's coming. But yeah, that's what I was telling him. I was like, look, everyone's still asleep and we're headed to the gym. I was like, doesn't that make you feel amazing?
Amazing when you can do that.
Yeah.
I don't do that every morning, but like when I do, it's like, dude, I feel awesome, right? How do people get to be your client? Like,
so if they go to my page, Siliana Gaspard on Instagram, just click the link. You know what? Click the link in the bio.
We'll throw it up there for you guys.
Yeah, and there's application. They can fill out the application. They can always DM me. I'll check
for services, guys.
For services. Specifically lifestyle coaching services. Yes. No other kinds of services.
And you got to pay.
And you have to pay. Yeah, but the application is the best way. It's just a quick type form application so I can read it, because I don't take everybody.
Yeah.
You know, I just want to work with people who really want to be helped. Like if you're just like, oh yeah, you know, we're not going to.
It ain't going to do anything for you.
Yeah. You're going to waste my time. I'm going to waste your time. You're going to waste your money. Like it's not, you know. So they fill out the application and I'll get back to them. And then, you know, we speak, we make sure it's a good fit for both of us, and then we go from there. So the best way is just to go to my page and click the link, and there's different websites in my link tree that they can visit.
But there you have it, guys. Siliana, thank you so much.
Thank you, Omar.
Guys, don't approach her at the gym when she's working out. She's going to make you look like a fool.
Yeah.
Do not utilize her son as a pivot point to gain access with her. Have respect, guys.
Yeah, bottom line.
Be a man. Just like Siliana said, there's not enough men anymore, right? Be a man. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to say to the dumb dudes out there in the world in regards to anything, really? Like, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, so, I mean, I hope it didn't come off like we're bashing men, because
it's a call to action for men to be better, right?
Correct, yeah.
And you said it, I've said it. We've collectively lessened our efforts. And I feel like calling it out and pinpointing what they are is going to help the narrative, right? They don't know they're doing wrong shit. They're not going to get better, right?
Correct.
So this is not bashing. This is more like, hey, we're having fun while we're doing it, but at the same time, there's a point here to that. Like, let's collectively be better.
I think the point there, like you said, just be better. Just try and not try, but just, you know, work towards being the best version of yourself. And what does that look like to you? You know, and I mean, I do the same thing for myself, my son, my clients. Like, what does being the best version of yourself look like to you? And how can you be better? And how can you be better in terms of, you know, dating, approaching women, and be more respectful. Act like a man, like open doors. Why can't you open a door and hold a door? You know, let the woman walk first. Like just little things that they're small things, but they add up. They add up. And in turn, women will follow your lead. You know, like it goes both ways.
There it is, boys. Thank you guys for listening in to another episode of The Dumb Show. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, hit a like button, leave a comment. We'd love to hear your questions. If you have any topics you want to talk about in the future, follow on Instagram, The Dumb Show Podcast, and we will see you guys next time.